Welcome back, everyone. So today we are going to be reviewing graphing inequalities because we have a test this week, and this is probably one of the hardest things on your test, so I want to make sure that we can all do it, okay? All right, so we're going to start with the easiest ones. A is less than 6. So we need to put a circle over 6, because if you notice, there's no solving for these first 5. Just making sure that we know the basics. Okay, so since there's no line under our inequality sign, that means it's going to be an open circle. And since A is less than 6, I need all of the numbers that are less than 6. So then our arrow is going to point to the left. Alright, number 2. 0 is greater than or equal to x. Okay, so we need to have a circle at 0, and is it going to be open or closed? It's going to be closed because of the line underneath our inequality sign. And since 0 is greater than or equal to x, we need to include all of the numbers that are less than 0. Alright, p is less than -1. Hopefully you guys are all getting this now, and you are speeding way past what I am doing. Okay. Now, n is greater than or equal to -3. So this time, when we have our closed circle over -3, we need to include all the numbers that are greater than -3. Alright. And finally, -2 is greater than -x. Well, can we have a negative? No, so we need to change the signs of everything because we can't have a -x. Whoops, sorry, this is supposed to be a +2. Okay, so our -2 turned to a +2, our greater than sign turned to a less than sign, and our -x turned to a +x because I am not allowed to have -x. Okay? Alright, so now 2 is less than x. So I'm going to have an open circle over 2, and then since 2 is less than x, or x is greater than 2, because our alligator mouth is pointing towards the x, I need all of the numbers greater than 2. Okay. Those aren't so hard, right? Alright. Now, in our next set, we actually have to solve for things. Okay? So I'm going to solve them down below. You can solve them to the side. It's just whatever you want, okay? Alrighty. So 14 minus n is greater than 16. Well, I'm going to subtract 14 from both sides, okay? So I've just copied down the problem, and now I'm subtracting 14 from both sides. And then 16 minus 14 gives you 2. Okay? And then you want to change your signs of everything because remember, we cannot have a negative letter. So n is now less than -2. Okay? And a good way to know if you're correct is that look at our number line. If we had left it as -n is greater than 2, well, 2 is not on our number line. So always check to make sure that the number you end up with, -2, is on our number line. Okay? Alrighty. So circle over -2, and then n is less than, so we need all the numbers less than -2. Because our end goal for these is to get to what we did on 1 through 4. Something where there's no more solving, there is just a letter and a number. Like if you look at number 3, it was just a letter, an inequality sign, and a number. That's our end goal for 6 through 23. Alright, so then let's do 7. I'm just going to copy down the problem. Okay, I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So we get negative 3 is greater than or equal to negative m. Well, I have a negative m, so what do? I got to change all my signs, so I'm going to write it over here. So 3 is less than or equal to positive m. Okay, because again, if we look at our number line, there's no negative 3. So you have to make sure that you're paying attention to your letter and your number line. Alright, so since there is a line underneath our inequality sign right here, that means that it's going to be a closed circle and m is greater than or equal to 3. So we need all the numbers greater than. For number 8, I'm going to add 20 to both sides. Negative 32 plus 20 will give me negative 12. So negative 12 is less than or equal to b. Okay, so automatically we know that we need a closed circle over negative 12. And then our arrow is going to go towards the greater numbers because our alligator mouth is facing towards b. We have negative 20 is less than negative 4x. So since this is negative 4 times x, I need to divide by negative 4. And what happens when we divide by a negative? Our sign is going to flip. So negative 20 divided by negative 4 is going to give me a positive 5. And then our sign changes so that 5 is greater than x. Okay? Alrighty, so open circle around 5. And then since 5 is greater than, I need all the numbers less than 5. Okay, ready to go on to the next one? Let's do it. So we're going to subtract 10 from both sides to get 17 is greater than b. So open circle at 17. And which way is my arrow going to go, left or right? It's going to go to the left because 17 is greater than, meaning that b is less than. Alrighty, so number 11. We have a negative outside of our parentheses. So don't forget, whenever we have just a negative in front of our parentheses, it's like saying negative 1 times, negative 2 plus x is greater than or equal to negative 14. So we would want to distribute this negative 1. Okay, so this is going to become a positive 2 minus x. Alrighty. So I already have my x on one side, so I need to get x is on one side, so I need to get my number to the other side, so I'm going to subtract 2. Alright, so my 2's are going to cancel. I'm going to be left with negative x is greater than or equal to negative 16. But remember, we can't have this negative right here, so we're going to change our signs of everything. So now x is less than or equal to positive 16. Doing okay? Let's do the next one. Alright, for number 12, don't freak out because there's a fraction, okay? because we've been solving with fractions for quite a while now. Alright, when you have a fraction, the first thing you want to do is multiply by your denominator. Okay? So I'm going to copy this problem down. And I'm multiplying by my denominator, because that's going to cancel these 3's out. So I'm going to get negative 9 is less than or equal to negative 2 plus a. Okay, you're going to add 2 to both sides. And I'm going to move it over here because I think I've run out of space. So negative 7 is less than or equal to a. Alrighty? So then close circle over negative 7, arrow to the right. Because you guys are starting to get pretty good at the inequality part and the graphing, so now what you guys need to actually practice is your solving. Because we have been doing this since day 1, okay? So we just need to get better at manipulating our equations. Alright, like 13. Yes, there is a fraction, but before we're allowed to multiply by 9, we have to add 3. Okay, so I'm going to add 3 to both sides to get negative 1 is less than x over 9. And then we can multiply by 9 to get negative 9. Oops, pardon me. Alright, now since we're multiplying by a negative, just like when we... No, we're not. Sorry. I just lost my mind for a moment. Okay. So, negative 9. Ta-da! So, close circle, sorry, open circle, telling you guys I'm losing my mind. And then x is to the right, because x is greater than. Okay? Alright, 14. Look at that fraction. Is there anything beside the fraction? Nope. So we can just go ahead and multiply by that 3. Again, I'm just copying down the problem. And now I'm going to multiply by 3. So negative 12 is less than or equal to 1 plus m. Subtract 1 from both sides. And I'm going to bring it over here. So negative 13 is less than or equal to m, because our 1's cancel out. Okay, so we have negative 13, and then m is greater than. Alright, 15. We have a fraction, but we have something added to the fraction, so we have to take care of that first. So n of 5 minus 3, negative 6. So we're going to add 3 to both sides to get n over 5 is less than negative 3. Then we're going to multiply by 5 on both sides so that n is less than negative 15. Open circle on negative 15, and then our arrow goes to the left. Alright. Alrighty. I'm going to keep it moving. And we got a little bit bigger number, but that's okay. Alrighty. So these are multi-step. So pretty much if you can solve these, you are going to be fine with these on your test. Okay? Alright. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 16 through 22, and then I want you guys to do 17, 19, 21, 23. So I'm going to do the evens, you're going to do the odds, okay? And you are going to turn these in, okay? You know, once we get done with the back as well. And this will help me determine if you guys are ready for your test on Thursday. Okay? Alrighty. At least for this section. Because if not, then we will continue to review this. And if you are, then we will start review for other things again after this. Okay. So, 234 is less than negative 6b. I'm going to distribute my negative 7, so I get negative 49b. It is negative 49, not 14, because 7 times 7 gives you 49, and 7 times 2 gives you 14. So negative 7 times negative 2 will give me a positive 14. Alright? Okay, so I'm going to combine my like terms right here, because this negative 6b and negative 49b. So 234 is less than, and then negative 6 minus 49 will give me a negative 55b plus 14. We're going to subtract 14 from both sides, and this should give me 220 is less than negative 55b. So now we're going to divide. Let's see, I'm going to finish it right over here. So 220, negative 55b, we're going to divide by negative 55. Okay. So 220 divided by negative 55 is going to give me negative 4. What happens to my sign? I divided by a negative, so my sign is going to flip, and we're going to get b. Okay? Alright. And then the graphing part, which hopefully you guys are a lot better on now. Okay. It's a lot, but again, if you can do these, you can do any of these graphing inequalities. Alright. Next one. Distribute your 7, so 7 times 8 gives you 56. X, 7 times 4 gives you 28, negative 28 because it's negative 4, greater than or equal to 420. We're going to add 28 to both sides. 56x is greater than or equal to 448, and we're going to divide by 56. So x is greater than or equal to 8. So close circle over 8. And we go to the right. Alright, next one. We got to distribute our 8. So negative 16n plus 24 is greater than or equal to 136. We're going to subtract 24 from both sides to get negative 16n is greater than or equal to 112. Divide by negative 16. So n, what happens when we divide by a negative? It flips. And then 112 divided by 16 will give us negative 7. Because of the negative 16. Okay. Alright. And then we have our closed circle over negative 7. And then since n is less than, gotta include all the numbers less than. Alrighty. 22. So we have to distribute our negative 8. So negative 8p plus 48 plus 8 less than or equal to 4p plus 32. So I'm going to start by combining my like terms right here. 48 plus 8 will give me 56. I am going to add 8 to both sides, the 8p. So that'll cancel out. and I will get 56 is less than or equal to 12p plus 32. Okay, I'm going to scooch this down a little bit, or up. Okay, I'm going to subtract 32. So then we should get 24 is less than or equal to 12p. Divide by 12. So 2 is less than or equal to p. That one was a lot, okay? But it was nothing horrible. You just had to make sure that you did each step correctly, okay? So close circle over 2, and since p is greater than, we're going that way. Alrighty. So you guys get to work on 17 through 23, okay? So you are welcome to pause this video to work on those 4. And then once you're done, you have to flip to the back. Oh my gosh, there's 2 more. Alright. And I will do these 2, and then we're going to work on graphing again, okay? Alright, so you should pause this video. I'm going to keep going. Alright. So those of you who have already finished, we are going to carry on, okay? Alright, 24 is pretty simple. So 2m plus 9 is greater than, we're going to distribute our -3. Okay. I am going to add 3m to both sides. So you get 5m plus 9 greater than or equal to -6. I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides to get 5m is greater than or equal to -15. And then over here, 5m greater than or equal to -15, I'm going to divide by positive 5. So m is greater than or equal to -3. Okay. Alrighty. 25. Distribute your 6. So 6p minus 42 plus 8 is less than 4p minus 38. Combine your like terms, so -42 plus 8. We're going to get -34. I'm going to add 34 to both sides. So I get 6p is less than 4p. Then -38 plus 34 is going to give me a -4. I'm going to subtract 4p from both sides. So I'm going to get 2p is less than -4. Bring it over here. 2p less than -4, divide by 2. So p is less than -2. Whew. Alrighty, so open circle around -2. Since p is less than, we're going to the left. Alright, so again, if you could do the 4 on the front, you can do any of them. Alrighty, so now we are going to be graphing. Okay, you guys were getting pretty good at this on Friday, so hopefully this is just a review for you guys and will be great. Okay. Alrighty, so always start with the actual graphing of our y-intercept, and then our slope is down 3 to the right 5. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can also go up 3 to the left 5. Okay, is this going to be a solid or dashed line? It's going to be dashed because there is no solid line underneath our inequality sign. Always remember your arrows. Okay. Alright, now since y is greater than our line, we need to shade everything above our line. Okay, so what's above the line? Is it here or here? Hopefully you said the first one. Okay, so we're shading above our line. Alrighty, for the next one, start at positive 1, because that's our y-intercept, and then we're going to go down 3 to the right 2, or up 3 to the left 2. Oops, I am so sorry. This is a dashed line. I forgot what I was doing for a second. And on your test, if you write in pen, which you really shouldn't, but if you do, and you realize your mistake, just write me a little note that says this is supposed to be dashed. Okay? And now, real talk. If you put on your test that it's supposed to be dashed and you draw a solid line, I'm going to go with your note. Okay? You don't get to say this is supposed to be dashed and then later say, oh no, but it's a solid line. Okay? It's one or the other, and I'm going with, if you write me a note, it's supposed to be that. Okay. So this one was supposed to be dashed. And then y is less than our line. So this time I need to graph below my line. So is this below my line? Or is this below my line? Good. This is. Alrighty. For 28, we have y is greater than or equal to 1/2 x plus 0. So we're going to start at our origin. And then we're going to go up 1 to the right 2. Or down 1 to the left 2. I did not do that right. There we go. Down 1 to the left 2. Okay, so ignore these 2 dots because those are just wrong. Alright, and this time it's going to be a solid line. Alright, and then since y is greater than, we are going to shade above. Alrighty, next one. We have y is less than or equal to x plus 0. So we're going to start at 0. And remember, in front of our x, if there's no number, it is a secret 1. So our slope is 1/1. Okay, and this is going to be a solid line. And am I shading above or below the graph? I am shading below the graph. Good. Which is all of this. Alright, I think you guys can do 30 and 31 and 32. Actually, we'll do 32 real quick, and then we're going to do 33. Okay? Alrighty. So, for 32, y is greater than 0. So we have to go to where y equals 0, which is right here. Now, since it is y is greater than 0, it's going to be a horizontal line. And since, oh no, it's supposed to be dashed. I keep doing that. Obviously, I'm not thinking today. Sorry, guys. Okay, this is supposed to be a dashed line. And then, since y is greater than 0, we are going to shade above. So, please make 32 a dashed line. Okay? Alrighty. So, for 33, it gives us our equation in standard form, so we have to put it in slope-intercept form, okay? This is where a lot of you guys messed up on your quiz. You were just trying to graph this without changing it into slope-intercept form. Alright, so going to rewrite it over here. And I'm going to subtract 4x. So we get negative 5y is greater than or equal to 10 minus 4x. And then we divide everything by negative 5. Okay? This is also where you guys would mess up, because you would do this beautifully, but then when you would simplify, you would mess up somewhere. Okay? Alright, so negative 5's cancel. and it just becomes y. What happens when we divide it by a negative? Our sign changes. 10 divided by negative 5 gives me negative 2. Negative negative makes this positive 4 over 5x. A lot of you guys just started to ignore the fraction. Oh no, this was not supposed to happen. Okay, sorry, my screen went blank. Hopefully we are still good. Alright, so a lot of you guys would just ignore this fraction and put 4. You have to keep the fraction because this is your rise over your run. It's your slope, okay? Alright, so now we can graph it. Start at negative 2 and go up 4 and then to the right 5 and then down 4 to the right 5. Okay, and this time it's going to be a solid line, and then since y is less than, we need to be below our graph, which is down here. Alright, so I want you guys to try the 4 graphing ones that you see on this page that we have not done. So you can do 30, 31, and then 34 and 35, and please do not forget the 4 on the front. And when you're done, we have more work.